So first I'm going to start with the ear, which is caudal to the snout. The ear is for hearing and it protects the inner ear from dirt and water. Next, here's the eyelid. The eyelid is the surface of the eye. It protects the eye, basically from getting dirt or anything else in it, and it keeps it moist. Next is the shoulder, which is right here. The shoulder is in the shoulder girdle. It's a joint and it's for moving the arm, so it just helps the pig move, basically. It's a connection to the anterior-most limb to the body. Then the mammary papillae, located on the ventral side of the pig, which are right here. This is for feeding. This is where the milk, where the mother would feed the children, which are right here. Then the tail, which is on the posterior end, right here. Here's the tail. It doesn't really have much of a function in the pig. And then, I guess they do use it to express emotion like every other animal. And then here's the anus. There's a hole right here. This is where waste exits the body, solid waste, which is the posterior most opening. And then here's the umbilical cord, which is the center of the stomach. This is the connection of the fetal pig to its mother. It's on the ventral side of the abdomen and is located near the papillae. And then we have the external nares, which is located in the snout right here. This is where air enters the pig's body for respiration. We have digits, which are distal to the shoulder. The digits are basically they help in locomotion and moving around. And then we have the elbow, which is right here. And basically it's for moving the forearm. It's behind the shoulder and it's basically the joint for locomotion. So first I'm going to start with the tongue. It's located on the mandible, which is the lower jaw. This is the tongue right here. It assists in swallowing. It just helps the animal maneuver food in its mouth. The mammary papillae right here are these small bumps. Basically, they just assist in swallowing as well. They're near the base of the tongue and they're used to manipulate food as well on the tongue. Then we have the teeth, which are at the top of the mouth, which is also known as the maxillary jaw. Your incisors right here, and they're basically used for crushing, chewing, gnawing. And then at the roof of the mouth, we have the hard palate, which is right here. It's just a rigid structure. And then if you continue down, a continuation of the hard palate is a soft palate. You can see right there. It's basically just a separation for the oral and nasal cavities above, and it allows simultaneous eating and breathing. Okay, so the first organ of the digestive system is the stomach. It is used for mechanical digestion. It's located right here.
It's pretty cool.
The liver is posterior to the left lobe of the liver, to be exact. The liver is on top of it, right here. It produces bile and is the largest organ in the abdominal region. And then if you move up here, you can see the esophagus, which is the tube that transports food to the stomach. It's posterior to the lungs. Then if we go down here into the digestive system, you can see the small intestine. It's right here. It just basically absorbs nutrients. The first part of the small intestine is the duodenum. It's located right over here. You can see where it begins. And then the mesentery is basically the tissue that holds everything together. So you can see the mesentery is right here.
Function as a conduit for maturing sperm, and it's also
See all the tissue,
the ductus deferens.
just of the abdominal region especially. And then the adrenal glands, which are located near the kidneys, right here. You can just see that it's just a gland basically that produces hormones that control the blood sugar and stuff, helps in digestion. Then the cecum is the finger-like projection right here. It's a blind-ended pocket of the intestine. It's basically a junction of the small intestine and the colon. And then we have the pancreas. The pancreas is located, you would have to move the liver. It's kind of in there. See this, you can see the different texture. This is the pancreas right here. It is embedded in the mesenteries and it produces digestive enzymes and hormones. Okay, so first the pericardium is the tissue that's surrounding the heart. It's just basically the sac. You can see it right here. It's kind of ripped off. Right here. The heart is just this major organ of the cardiovascular system. It's a muscular pumping organ that circulates blood in the central thoracic region. The pulmonary artery is right here, is the ventral surface, and is most visible. It channels blood from the right ventricle, which is right here. So it just goes up. And then we have the aorta, which is at the top. So here's the aorta, this right side. The aorta is basically used for muscular pumping. It's a muscular pumping chamber superior to the atrium. The brachiocephalic artery is on this side. It is also for basically blood regulation. The right atrium is cranial to the ventricles. So you go the right atrium is right here. Basically, it's used to receive blood from the body and the lungs. Okay, so the first organ of the respiratory system and the main organ is the lungs, which are located right here. They're cranial to the liver, and they're used for respiration. Underneath the lungs is the diaphragm right here. As you can see, it's basically just a muscular tissue. It allows the thoracic cavity to expand and contract. And then if we go up further, we can see the larynx, which is the voice box. It is located at the cranial end of the trachea. And if you see, the trachea is right here, is a long tube that prevents the collapse as the pig inhales. Okay, so now we're moving on to the excretory system. The excretory system, one of the main organs is the rectum, which is located right here. Basically, it's the final site of water reabsorption and feces production. It's dorsal to the urinary bladder, which is another organ. And our excretory system right here is this right here is the urinary bladder. It holds the urine. It is unusually shaped in pigs because most of the time you would just see the bladder as like a sac-like organ, but this time it's not. It's just extended. That is partially because it is a fetal pig, though. Next, we have the kidneys. Just right here. They're on the dorsal surface. They're bean-shaped, and basically they eliminate metabolic wastes. Then we have the ureter right here, which is connected to the kidneys. It's a passageway from the kidneys to the urinary bladder. So if you follow it all the way down, it leads to the urinary bladder. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the reproductive system. Right here is the ovaries. They're the female gonads that produce the eggs, and they are located dorsal to most of the small intestines and the urinary bladder and rectum. And then along right next to the ovaries are the horns of the uterus right here. It's kind of like a squiggly line. This area for the